Okay, this is the second time I'm making this video. The first time something must have happened with the recording device and the stock pick video did not turn out right. It got like black within 20 seconds and stayed black for the remaining 10 minutes. Someone pointed that out to me. Thank you, whoever you are. And I am now making a quicker version because I simply don't have time to repeat everything I just said. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut out one of the stock picks, and I'm just going to point out the four of the better. What we're going to be doing is using Yahoo's interactive stock charts and stock technical analysis, stockta.com. What we do when we first start is we switch the technical chart. If you see over here, charts interactive, you click on that. Yahoo will appear because, well, it's Yahoo's chart. And I'm going to switch to 1 month and switch this thing over here to candlesticks. This gives us the candlestick for each day, which is very informative for predicting trends. Now I'm going to show you the top two, which are swing trades based on the candlesticks. First one is MO. It's rather expensive. We see a hammer candlestick, which is a candlestick that has a top and no real shadow above it, but a long shadow below it. The hammer shows that there's resistance below it, support below it, and that we are likely going to see a reversal trend if it came after a bearish trend, which it did. If you look at the lines, you can see the bearish trend. So we had a bearish trend, the hammer stick occurred, which shows that it should be going upward after that. And the last candlestick, that on April 2nd, confirmed that reversal pattern. So now it's time to get in on MO. Now what's interesting about MO from a long-term perspective, and what makes it a swing trade, is that it's bearish overall. Of course, it looks like it's actually bullish overall, but since we're doing this more or less as a weekly update, we are only going to be looking at the short-term trends, which are still bearish. There's nothing really interesting about the chart indicators, but this candlestick pattern shows us that there's a reversal probably coming soon, and that it could shoot up to break its next resistance level, which is at 51.31. This is a short-term swing trade. It's a little expensive, but it might be worth getting in on. This week's stock picks aren't that great compared to the prior weeks. I dug through a lot of stuff and I found just a handful of stuff I would actually play. These next three are better than MO. Gilt is also a swing trade. It's a lot more expensive. It's double the price, but it's also going to be a lot better in terms of getting what you should get out of your shares. So if you buy in at 98.43, I'm predicting that it's going to hit 101. So you're getting $3 per share of profit, which means for every $100 you spend, you get $3, which is a 3% ROI in a very short term. Again, we have that hammer candlestick we see here that follows a bearish trend. The hammer is confirmed. The reversal is confirmed by the next day's candlestick, which is green and up. So we're going to say that this trend is going to reverse. We're going to go ahead and look at some other technicals. So what we got here is a very strong resistance at 101, and that's why I predict that the stock's going to jump back up to 101, but probably not break that resistance. If it does, we're great. If it does, then the sky's the limit because there's no real strong resistances above that, except for maybe this 105. So this is actually a good investment as well as a swing trade. In addition, the stochastics we see down here have a very bullish signal, which means that the stock is very likely to be oversold at this point. If it's oversold, then the market is going to correct it and it's going to jump back up to what should be its market price. So this is going to be a safer bet than the previous one. It's also going to be fulfilled in a shorter time frame probably. And if it does break that 101 resistance point, well, then we could go either up to 105 and stop, or we could actually just keep going up for a while until we hit a new level of resistance. and at that point you could sell. This is pretty good if you got the money to get in on it. If you don't, I'm going to go down and skip down to this swing trade, ONVO, which is actually a penny stock, technically, because any stock that is under $5 is technically a penny stock. This is also a swing trade. If you don't have $100 per share to invest, then this is something that might be worth getting in on. The candlestick pattern we see here is called a bullish harami. It's when we have a small green candlestick pattern within a big red candlestick. What's interesting about this stock's candlestick chart for the past month is that all we've seen really are bearish indicators. We've seen red candlesticks almost all the way down. The few green candlesticks that we have seen don't really indicate anything. This is not a pattern. 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 But this suddenly, we do have a pattern that says, well, a bullish reversal could be coming. So now would be the time to get in on this, even though it is bearish in the long term. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at whether it's oversold or not. I forget if it is or not. Let's take a quick look. If it's oversold, it's a very safe stock to get in on. And indeed, it is very bullish in the stochastics, meaning that this stock is quite likely oversold. It's undervalued, and we should be getting in on it right now. That is it for the swing trades. Now we're going to look at a short-term trade that it could also be used as an investment, and that is on CBS. Also a bit expensive, but what we see here is a bullish engulfing when a green candlestick eats up a red candlestick. The bullish engulfing pattern is quite, for a two candlestick pattern, it's actually quite reliable, but it's not something you always want to make a bet on. Now, why I say this is a good investment and not just a swing trade, I'm fumbling over my words because I'm trying to get this done quickly. I hate the sunken cost of making a video and then having to refilm it because of some technical issue. But if you look at pretty much every indicator for this, you see it's all bullish. It's been going up for a year. We've got a strong level of support right below us. In fact, that support was a resistance until yesterday. The green candlestick flew through that, and now we're right above that level of support. Everything else, as you can see in here, is pretty bullish. So this is not only a good swing trade now that we're right above that support and we don't have any resistances above us, but that same fact points out that, well, we could go as far as $100. We don't know. We don't see any resistances. We are likely at the top in at least a year or 2 years. Well, we're not at top yet. There might be a slight resistance around 70, but at least we can get in this for a short-term trade, and if not a short-term trade, you can stick with it. As you can see, for 5 years it's been going up. So those are the stock picks for the week of April 6, 2015. I'll leave those up here for a second. Please go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. The next subscriber will be my 100th subscriber. So go ahead and steal that opportunity. One-on-one is not bad either. If you got any questions, send me an email. Don't forget to skip to the beginning of the video and get that free gap guide. That's it for now.